Hi everyone, Ainsley here from Small Fry Creations, where we tackle everything DIY. Do you have a machine where you feel like there's untapped potential because you're just not that creative? Me too, so today I'm going to push myself to learn new techniques and see what the laser can do. I'm making a number of name signs to try out a bunch of techniques, and I'm going to use these circles as my backer board. If you're curious on how I made these circles or whether or not cutting a circle on a table saw or a router is more efficient, be sure to check out the link above. Now, if I'm being honest, being creative scares me. I don't think it is something that I'm very good at, but the good news is I think it is something that I can get better at. So today I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you that are hopefully going to help you improve or inspire you to have a go. The first thing you're going to need are some designs or files or vectors, whatever you want to call them. And this was a big stopping block for me for quite some time because I can't draw, and even if I could draw, what would I draw? Then I realized you don't need to. There are fantastic designers out there creating and selling vectors online with a commercial license, allowing me to use it in a commercial setting. I purchased mine from Etsy and I'll link some of my favorite below. Some things you want to look out for is you want to make sure that it includes a commercial license. Some designers will limit you to a certain number of sales and some of them are unlimited. So it is something to be aware of before you push the purchase button. Now that we've got some designs, we need some font. I also purchased my fonts from Etsy because they mostly come with a commercial license, and if I'm making and selling products, I want to make sure I'm doing it in an ethical way. But I will let you in on a little secret. There is a website called wordmark.it. It's free and I will link it below. It allows you to put in a sentence or a word and then see all the fonts on your computer with what you've put into the website. You can filter it down so that it is just your fonts that you have purchased, and for a non-creative like me, it's a fantastic resource to be able to visually see what it's going to look like in the different fonts. I can shortlist it down to what I think will work before I make my final decision. So now that I have designs and fonts, we've got to talk about how we're going to bring them to life. There are a number of ways that you can bring your design to life, but today I'm going to be using the Sculpfun S10. If you have a Cricut or a Silhouette or any vinyl cutting machine, this is also going to work because the principles are the same. If you've never used a laser before and you're looking at getting into it, I will link a video above showing you how you can get up and running in just one day. Adding a laser to the Small Fry workshop has been an absolute game changer, and I am so glad that I have got it. But I think that's enough talking. Let's have a go at getting creative.
Know those moments when all your worries hit again and eat your time. So let's just pretend that it'll work out in the end and turn out fine. Yeah. Having night crashes down on you like an avalanche, opening up the deepest parts of your thoughts, and all you find is deeper shades of blue. So let's dance for hours, letting time pass like the wind. What's on your mind? Leave that behind.
All right, name sign number one is done. And although I'm really happy with the end result, it has been an absolute mission to get to this point. I don't want to lie to you, nor do I want to fool you. What has been about a minute of video for you guys has been days and hours of struggle for me. I'm not going to include it all in the video just because of timing. We would be on repeat for what would feel like a day. These are just some of my failed pieces and attempts to get this board right. I knew this project was going to be challenging. I knew it was going to push me, but I did not expect it to be this hard. Just trying to work out the layers and what I need to keep and what I need to cut and what's in my mind and getting it on the board has all been tough. But I am so glad that I have pushed through, because not only have I learned so much, I've now got a process that's going to help me with future boards as well as future projects. The biggest challenge I was having was coming down to finish. Originally, I was cutting the pieces out and then painting them, but I was just not getting the finish, in particular on the sides, that I was happy with. So I went back to the drawing board and did the process that you have now seen, where I block out and paint the plywood beforehand in the colors that are going to be the end result. And because the air assist is fitted to the S10, I'm getting really good, clean cuts. So really all I need to do is cut the pieces out and then glue it all together. So I'm glad I've pushed through the adversity, because now I have got a really great process that's hopefully going to speed it up on the future boards. Now, just a safety note, if you are using a laser, you want to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. I have got the roller door next to me up, and I have got the fan blowing out all of the fumes, and I make sure that I stand on the other side of the room. But with that being said, let's see if we can speed up this process and do another name sign.
Just you and me here tonight. We can't change the past. Can't take it back. We can learn to let go and let loose. Show your problems out the door and let loose. Ain't no worries on the dance floor. Just let the weight of your shoulders show 'em what you're made of. I'm right here, right now. Ain't no worries when you let loose.
Now, while I build my name signs, I also wanted to pass on some tips and tricks to you that I have learnt throughout this process and will hopefully help you on your quest to improve your creativity. Because I'm using the laser, I'm going to show you my tips and tricks using Lightburn, but if you have a vinyl cutter, the interface may look a little different, but the buttons should be similar, they just may be placed in different spots. Now, I believe to get the most professional looking sign, you want to start to think about your design in layers. The more three-dimensional your sign is, the more professional I think it's going to look. I'm going to use this robot to show you my first two tips. The first thing we need to do is create a base layer. So we need to remove the things that we want to cut separately that are going to create our second layer and be glued on top of the base layer. So I'm going to select these items, move them off to the side and group them together. Secondly, depending on the design, we may need to group and weld some elements together. On the robot, we can see the white sections, which if we send it to the laser right now, the white sections would cut out and our base layer would be all disconnected. To fix this, we're going to select the elements we want together, and then we're going to select the top weld button on the left-hand side, creating it as one element. If you're working with something like this floral design, then you're going to want to look at what you're layering. You may find that there's some pieces that are just so small that are going to be impossible to stick down, or they're probably going to get lost in the lasering process. Looking at what you want to cut and delete can help in the final design. For example, with the florals, I deleted the small parts and just highlighted the main parts of the design. When it comes to words or lettering, there is a super simple way that you can boost your design. It's done with one button, and that button is called Offset. It is super simple to use. You just want to type the word you want in the font that you want, and then you're going to select that font and select Offset from the menu and play around with the numbers until you get something that you like. And then bingo, you've got yourself a base layer. Now you want to make sure that you separate the base layer to the text and cut them separately, and then you can layer them afterwards once they've been cut. The rest of the creative process honestly comes down to the color palette. There's no real science, you just want to test the colors out and get to a palette that you are happy with, and don't be afraid to mix colors together to make your own unique color. But most of all, make sure that you're having fun throughout the process. Now that my tips and tricks are out of the way, let's finish these boards off and wrap this project up. So there you have it, my name signs are all done, and it has been a roller coaster of emotions to get to this point. It has been a big slog to get here, but I am so glad that I've pushed through the adversity to be here now, because I can really feel an improvement and a boost in my creativity. If you're looking to improve your creativity, my biggest recommendation would be to pick a project like this. Getting to do this many name signs has really allowed me to hone my skills not only in the software, but also my ideas. And I've been able to tweak it from sign to sign, and I can see the improvement. Now, I hope this project has inspired you to get out and try and improve your creativity. And if it has, help me out by hitting those subscribe and like buttons, and I'll see you on the next one.